Joining us in Studio B this morning to dig a little deeper into what's happening at KCSO is Sheriff Donny Youngblood for his monthly visit. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Mike.
And as we head into the Memorial Day weekend, it's a time to remember, obviously, our military men and women, but also it is a somber tradition on Friday with the Kern County Sheriff's Department with the changing, the updating of the sign at the mouth of the canyon. And how does that impact you when you look at that sign?
Well, it's been up there since, I think, 1968, and I've seen that number change and grow every year. No matter what we do, no matter how we advertise, people are destined to get in that river without a raft, without a vest, and people drown every year, and it's really sad.
You know, the thing that keeps coming out, or did when I first arrived here, was that it's always people from out of the area. It's always people. That's not always true, though.
It's not always true. The locals drown as well. They think they get a little alcohol on them, they think they're okay, and next thing you know, their life is over. And we've seen a large majority of from the Los Angeles area, but locally we're not immune to it.
You know, one of the things that sort of makes you a little uneasy is when you see sheriff search and rescue having to go into that water, which is very treacherous at times, to have to save someone who might be clinging to a branch or something.
Yeah, they have protocols to try and keep themselves safe. They won't put themselves at extreme risk to try and recover somebody. We haven't lost a search and rescue member in several years, and a lot of years, and we hope that that continues because they're really good at what they do.
I want to get political for just a second here. The governor's race, among the 60 or so candidates out there, the two that everyone are talking about on the Republican side specifically, Sheriff Chad Bianco and Steve Bell. Have you had a chance to talk to Chad about his campaign?
Oh, several times. In the very beginning, Chad and I had a conversation about the possibility and the probability of winning that race or not winning that race and what the odds were. And yeah, we've had lengthy conversations. He's done a great job. Whether he wins or loses, I'm really proud of what Chad's done and what he stands for.
If he were to win, did he offer you a position in his administration?
Oh God, no. I'm just trying to hang on to sheriff.
Very good. Let's talk about some of the cases that have happened. And the one that I wanted to talk about was the Arvin Police Sergeant Delia Reyes, who had the charges against her dropped. It was a case that was investigated by the Sheriff's Department. Your just impression of all that?
Well, these are black marks on law enforcement. Anytime the Dunbury case, this case, people that are haters will accuse of all law enforcement. And really, it's a small number, but it's a black mark. And you don't expect it from someone that has been there for many years with rank. The case we felt was a good case. Narcotics unit, she was under the influence of cocaine. She had cocaine there at the residence. The judge ruled that there wasn't a usable amount, and that's the judge's job, and we'll move on to the next case.
Let's step over that and move into the issue of water, the water quality and the testing out at Lerdo Jail. What's the update on that?
Well, we're trying to nail down what it is. We think it's an NSF lubricant from the pumps. It takes a while. The bureaucracy doesn't move very fast, Mike. We move very slowly. We're still using filters for the showers, which make them safe. We still are drinking bottled water, and we're working our way towards getting back to normal use of the water, and we think we'll get there. It's just going to take some time.
Is there any type of timetable? Because as you can imagine, people are still reaching out saying,
yeah, we're not in control of the timetable. Yeah. You know, it takes time. You're more than one bureaucracy involved, and we're Water Resource Board, Public Health, us, but we'll get there.
As far as the numbers go, it's not like you could just take all those people and move them.
We sure hope not. I don't know where we'd move them to.
And then talking about staffing right now, you were saying just a moment ago that you're up to 97%. How does that rank in your memory through your career?
Well, we're back to almost 2008. And if you remember, in 2008, we had an economic downturn in the country, specifically in the county. The sheriff's office got smaller and smaller and smaller. We were hiring people, but not very many, and we had a negative number at the end of the year. In other words, we were losing more than we were hiring for 6, 7, 8 years in a row. We're now getting in positive numbers, and we're up to about 97% staffing. But we have a lot of them in academies. A lot of them haven't been field trained. So that number is a little bit misleading, and it's a moving target. But we're so much better off. The substations are seeing a lot more deputies out there than they ever did. Patrol, local patrol, a lot more deputies. And I'm getting a very robust public comment from phone calls every day supporting us and thanking us for doing what we're doing.
I mean, that's one of the most obvious things, right? When people sit there, you see them, then you think that
when you stop getting complaints and start getting kudos, you know you're on the right track.
Talking about substations, we had been contacted by people who were a little worried about the Lake Isabella substation. They couldn't contact anyone up there, but you were saying that was...
Yeah, Kern Valley is staffed better than it's ever been. 13 deputies, a sergeant, and 2 senior deputies. The clerk is off on sick leave, extended sick leave. We can't control that. Okay. The clerk can't control that. But we'll get her back to work as soon as we can.
Yeah, and so if someone in Lake Isabella has a concern, what do they do?
There's a phone that they can pick up and talk to someone. It's just they don't have personal contact because I don't have a clerk to send up to replace that clerk. It's pretty complicated.
And then, or you would have to pull someone off the street, or
take a deputy off the streets and put them in the substation. They're out of a patrol car, and I don't want to do that.
Okay. Also, I wanted to ask you just about the Peace Officers Memorial Day event last week. Once again, came off very, very well. All 3 individual ceremonies followed by the multi-agency ceremony. What is your reaction to that when you I mean, you were taking part in all of those on
Yeah, it's the saddest day of the year for us, but it's the happiest day of the year for us as well, because we honor people that we've lost in the line of duty. And this year we included people that died that were working for us, not in the line of duty. It really is a mixed reaction for employees. Some are really happy all day long, others are not. But it's a day to remember. You reflect on what they look like, what they acted like, what they said, and it's keeping their memory alive, which is really important to us in law enforcement.
Yeah, each one has its own special moments, and the sheriff's memorial that I kind of like is the bringing out and the placement of each plaque.
Yeah, and you know, ironically, Carl Sparks was there, former sheriff. And there's 22 names on there that during his career, 17 during my career. So it's not an unusual event to lose someone, but we were 5 years in now without losing someone. We're really, really proud of that number. You can only do so much. This is a dangerous job, but we hope we never, ever, ever have to add another name to that wall.
All right, very good. Sheriff Donny Youngblood, thank you for coming in this morning.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Nice to see Carl Sparks out there.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
We'll be right back.